You just finished eating. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a quiet voice says you shouldn't have. Too many calories. Too much sugar. Too easy to get. But here's the strange part. Your body isn't built for a world with vending machines. It's built for a world that hasn't existed in 10,000 years. And the way it handles food today is a leftover instruction set from a world that almost never let anyone eat too much. So did ancient humans actually get fat? The answer is almost. And almost is where this gets interesting. Picture a small group of early humans, maybe 40 people, moving across a grassland. They don't have a fridge. They don't have a pantry. What they have is whatever they can find, hunt, or dig up today. Tomorrow is a separate problem. For most of human history, food was not constant. It came in bursts. A successful hunt meant a feast. A bad week meant almost nothing. Anthropologist Kim Hill, who spent years studying the Aché people of Paraguay, documented exactly this kind of feast-or-famine rhythm. Some days, hunters returned with enough meat to feed the entire group for days. Other days, they returned with nothing at all. Your body remembers this. Not consciously, but biologically. Every time you eat something high in fat or sugar, your brain releases a small wave of reward chemicals. It feels good. It feels urgent. That's not an accident, and it's not a flaw. It's a survival mechanism that evolved because calories used to be rare, and rare things that keep you alive deserve a strong reward. Here's the twist. For almost the entire history of our species, the problem was never too much food. The problem was never enough. So your body developed a one-way switch. It got extremely good at storing extra energy as fat whenever it was available. But it never developed a strong stop, you have plenty switch. Because for most of human history, that switch was almost never needed. There was no plenty. This is sometimes called the thrifty gene idea, first proposed by geneticist James Neal back in the 1960s. His theory was simple. Bodies that were efficient at storing fat during good times survived famines better. Over thousands of generations, those bodies became the norm. Not because ancient humans needed to get fat, but because the ones who could store fat efficiently when food was available were the ones who survived when it wasn't. Now here's where it gets even stranger. Some ancient humans absolutely did carry extra body fat, and for very specific reasons. Anthropologist Herman Ponce has spent years studying the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer community in Tanzania, measuring their daily energy use with the same tools used on astronauts. What he found surprised a lot of researchers. The Hadza burn roughly the same number of calories per day as people living in modern cities, despite walking for miles and being far more physically active. How is that possible? Their bodies adapt. When activity goes up, other systems quietly turn down to balance it out. Ponce's research suggests human metabolism isn't a simple calories in, calories out machine. It's a constantly adjusting system, shaped by millions of years of unpredictable food supply. So picture a woman in an ancient community, late in pregnancy, or a child going through a growth spurt. Their bodies needed extra stored energy, and they got it when food allowed. A slightly heavier body, at the right moment, wasn't a flaw. It was insurance against the next bad season. But here's the part that should stop you. Obesity, in the way we understand it today, essentially didn't exist for most of human history. Not because ancient humans had better willpower. Not because they were healthier people making better choices. It's because the environment itself made it almost impossible. There was no constant access to calorie-dense food. There was no sitting still for 8 hours. There was no walking past 5 different food options on the way to get water. The environment did the regulating. The body didn't have to. Researchers Boyd Eaton and Melvin Connor, who studied what they called the Paleolithic diet pattern decades ago, pointed out something important. It wasn't that ancient humans ate perfectly. It's that the food itself was less concentrated, less processed, and far less available on demand. Now flip that around and look at today. Your body still has that ancient one-way switch. It still rewards you intensely for high-calorie food. It still has almost no built-in mechanism to say, that's enough, slow down. Except now, the food is everywhere. It's cheap. It's available at any hour. It's specifically engineered to taste better than anything your ancestors ever encountered. You're not weaker than your ancestors. Your environment changed faster than your biology could. So no, ancient humans didn't get fat the way modern humans sometimes do. Not because their bodies were different. because their world made it nearly impossible. You just finished eating. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a quiet voice says you shouldn't have. But maybe that voice isn't judging you. Maybe it's just an old survival signal, still running, in a world it was never designed for.